So I'm going to sign in as our demo user. And the first thing that I want to show you guys is how you would set up how you would register your system within Touchstone for it to be recognized system to system with Touchstone in the middle. So you'll want to create a new test system, and any user at any subscription level can do this. You give it a name, for example, demo test system, and you're going to give it whatever the base URL is for your system. And you'll want to set can be viewed by to everyone and can be executed against to everyone, so that folks can, through Touchstone, hit your system. If after the Connectathon you want to restrict that, you can come back into your test system and edit it to be just accessible by your organization and just executed against by your organization. But for now, we're going to set it to everyone. You're going to want to leave FHIR server checked. And I think this is, I've already created one, so let me create a second one. Fast call, there we go. Okay, so you'll want to leave server checked. You hit create, and it's going to create your test system for you. So this is step one. Now you go into your test system that you've created, and you'll see this proxy URL. You can get focus in here. It always takes me a second to get it. Let's see. I have to click just right. Come on, there we go. Okay, so you'll want to copy this proxy URL. This is how Touchstone will identify your system when it's called by another system. So you copy this. Now, what do you do with this to get this working as we're talking proxy to proxy? David Hay has set up in Conman, and I have a quick little spot here. So he has set up within Conman, he's added a field for the proxy server. So you would go in here, set this up for your server, and you can see Richard has set it up on our behalf against WildFire. You would set up, this is where you would put that proxy URL, which you get right here from your Touchstone test system definition. That's it, you're done. You have set up your system in Touchstone to be recognized and routed to, and you've communicated in Conman how to register your proxy URL. You're done. Now, if you want to test with other systems, what you're going to need to do is find that system in Conman so that you know how to communicate with them from your launching application. And you'll see their proxy for Touchstone in there as well. So how does this work? So let's say the sample that we have set up, Richard Edema set it up from Postman. He made a call from Postman. So let me filter down here so we can just look at what we need to see. Okay, so here's a sample he ran a couple of days ago. So from Postman, he issued a request. You'll see here that there's no test execution. So this is done completely without a test script. So a lot of us that are used to using Touchstone, we come in, we do a test system setup or a test setup, and we execute a test, and then we look at our results. And we may be talking from one system to another with proxy in the middle, but we're still very used to using test scripts. But here we're demonstrating the power of just using Touchstone to capture the communication between two systems. And with this, and I know it's been talked about a lot recently in discussions, we'll capture what's happening when a system makes a request to another system, and then when that system provides the response. And by interrogating those request and response bodies, we are able to get an idea of the types of things, the types of use cases that we would want to write test scenarios for. And from there, we can begin building some of our test scripts so that we're testing the behavior that's happening both from a negative standpoint and a positive standpoint as we build our test bed. So in this example, Richard from Postman has made a request out to the WildFire, and WildFire has provided a response back. So here's the request body. This is what we can look at in Touchstone. And then we can also look at the request body. And so this is what what WildFire, which is a reference implementation, this is what it served back to Richard's Postman request. And so you can see, we see the data that's coming across, we see the formats. So from this, as I said, we begin to build the types of use cases and scenarios that we would build tests for. So questions? I know I went kind of fast because there's a big agenda today. And I can provide Dana for the meeting notes after the Conman link that I brought up. Where did it go? Here, the Conman link, which is where you would go to register your proxy. I do want to point out Touchstone, if you're not a Touchstone user, Touchstone is free to register. You just register right here from the landing page, touchstone.com. It'll send you an activation code and you follow that and poof, you're in. You can join an existing organization if you're part of an organization that's in Touchstone. If not, you can create your own organization. And the Touchstone support team is here to help if you guys need any help with that. In the Touchstone documentation, you can go to test systems here, and this will walk you through creating a test setup or a test system rather, the screens that I just went through.